Motorists react to latest fuel price adjustment. Senate orders states, local government areas to comply with Supreme Court judgment. Customs auctions seized fuel in Adamawa State, selling at 630 naira per litre. On the foreign scene, Turkey begins evacuation of nationals from Lebanon. Hello and welcome to News Hour. I am Muhammad Kudu Abubakar. Since President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's subsidy removal announcement on May the 29th, 2023, fuel prices have surged by over 500%. With the latest price adjustment today announced by the NNPCL, motorists are expressing mixed reactions. Trust TV gauges their views on the new price hike and its growing impact on daily expenses. The report.
Motorists are expressing shock as fuel prices at stations have surged to between 1,050 naira and 1,200 naira per litre, depending on the station. Many reported buying fuel at a lower price in the morning, only to return later in the day to find the new higher rate.
1,050 naira.
When did you buy 1,000 naira?
Just now. It's not up to 5 minutes. That's what we can do. We have to manage it like that. People will not like to even pay. Some prefer to trade than to enter motor now.
I bought yesterday 995 naira. Then now I went to station to buy. One I saw there is 1,050 naira. Honestly, it's not funny. It's not funny at all. It's not funny because when the market women, when they heard that the price have increased, definitely the commodity market will go high and to affect the people.
Our first buy in the morning is the normal price, 950 naira, 960 naira at the Kubwa side with that. So but now when I come here again, it's 1,050 naira.
I used to use 1,000 naira fill my tank as a keke rider. Now, before I will fill my tank now, it's almost getting to 9,000 something, going to 10,000 before I will fill my tank. But before was 1,000 naira or 1,000 to 1,400, I fill my tank. But now the thing is going over. We don't know. We are looking in paper, they are saying Dangote refinery, when Dangote refinery starts refining petrol will go down, this and this and this. They are doing it outside country. Now petrol don't come back to Nigeria, they will refine it in this country. Now things are going higher.
My brother, not be smart, I want to surely that I want you people to carry this our message, making reach our president Tinubu, making know how they feel this situation. This is hard time now. We are just dying because of hunger.
I had it when I was in the village because I just came back yesterday, and I had it that on an increment of the price of the fuel, but I didn't see it because I did not even buy. I was in the station, but I said, as I said earlier on for you, that I just left because of the softness and I didn't even buy. So I was trying to buy it from the site. No, people are in hardship and it is more hardship for people. So we are calling if the government can do anything to stop the increment so that the masses can get it more better.
Oga, Nigeria is so far. May them try do something, no. May them try do something. Now transport go hard, food go hard, everything go hard. May they help poor masses are beg.
With the latest fuel price hikes, Nigerians are calling on the government to intervene, expressing concerns that life will become even more challenging than before. Many fear the new rates will further strain household budgets and increase the cost of living across the country.
Still on the latest fuel hike, commercial bus drivers in Ikeja axis of Lagos State have hiked transportation fares for commuters, citing the sudden increase in fuel prices and its scarcity at the filling stations. Victoria Tokolo has more in this report.
At Ikeja Underbridge, commercial bus drivers have abruptly raised their fares, leaving commuters stranded and frustrated by the sudden hike in transportation costs. Speaking to commercial bus drivers on fuel availability and its prices, they expressed their worries over the high cost and scarcity of fuel in the state, which has compelled them to hike their bus fare.
Buy fuel and it's problem. You will queue before you see the fuel to buy. And they sell on 1,001. Some people they sell on 1,000. Some people they sell on 900 and something. But from NNPC, then something, some filling station they sell at 1,001, 1,002.
The price is going higher every day. There is fuel at the filling station, but we'll get it at the higher price. That is the problem we are facing. It's not like there is no fuel. There is fuel, but we'll get it at the higher price.
They have fuel. There's fuel in the station. Most filling stations, they have not selling for long. They started selling fuel today. As soon as they had the fuel is 996 naira per liter. Most of them started selling fuel. And fuel, we have fuel in mobile at NEPA, going to Oba, we have mobile and another mobile at Oba, we have at Yayabato and an NPC. That's the only mobile that's selling fuel right now. Other filling stations, they are not selling fuel.
At the mobile filling station on Akilo Road in Ogbagege area, long queues of vehicles are seen as drivers struggle to get fuel for their vehicles. Lagos residents expressed their frustration over the sudden increase in fuel price.
How long are we to continue like this? Look at the way all the things going on now. It's very bad. Very bad. Look at the transportation. The transportation is very expensive.
This fuel we are bought today now is 996 naira. And even apart from that, I'm still paying for the charges of my keg. Even after all the stress, waiting for about 1 hour plus just for me to get 1.5 fuel, I will still pay for keg. Look at this now. This is 2 liter. 2 liter. This is rubbish. I don't know where this Nigeria is going to.
Well, you are talking about the price of fuel. Like, I was so surprised today when I came. The price of fuel was increased. Because yesterday when I came here, the price of fuel was about 8.79 per liter. But now, we are seeing the price of per liter of fuel for 9.96. I don't really know what's going on in this country. Like, we cannot keep on living this way.
Lagos residents are calling on the federal government to address the ongoing fuel scarcity and its rise in prices, as these issues are significantly impacting the rising cost of living for the average citizen.
The Senate has directed states and local government areas to, as a matter of urgency, comply with the judgment of the Supreme Court granting financial autonomy to local government areas from the state governments. The lawmakers during plenary on Wednesday also resolved to amend sections of the Constitution to grant full autonomy to the local government areas and its administration across the country. Trust TV's National Assembly correspondent brings details in this package.
The resolution was reached after lawmakers reconvened from a closed-door session preceded by a rowdy debate in the Senate chambers over alleged attempts by some state governments to circumvent the ruling of the July 11 Supreme Court pronouncement. The debate followed a motion moved by Senator representing Anambra North, Tony Nwoye.
Few state governments, through their respective state House of Assembly, through their different state House of Assembly, seek to enact laws, while some have already enacted laws and continue to take action that undermine the financial autonomy of local governments, thereby breaching the constitutional provision 1999 Constitution as well as the judgment of the Supreme Court. The Senate further concerned that the modus operandi of subverting this financial autonomy of local governments by state government through the House of Assembly is to insert clauses.
One after another, lawmakers who contributed to the debate underscored the urgency for adherence to judicial mandates to enhance transparency and accountability in local governance.
Local governments should be allowed to exercise that responsibility of a third tier of government. So in any attempt of any state House of Assembly trying to make law that will now mandate this revenue coming to local governments to be controlled by another account before the money gets to the local government, I think is undermining the Supreme Court judgment.
Court has already decided that the money of the local government councils should be released directly to the councils. And for us to start debating it, it's going against the spirit of the Constitution, since there is already a constitutional provision to that effect.
All states and local governments to fully comply with the recent Supreme Court judgment on the disbursement and utilization of funds accruing to all local governments in Nigeria.
In his submission, President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, assured of the National Assembly's commitment to take decisive steps to ensure full autonomy to local government administration in the country.
I want to thank all of you for your contributions, and I assure you that the 10th Senate, working with our colleagues in the House of Representatives, will alter any aspect of our constitution, amend any section of our laws to ensure full autonomy to the local government administrations in this country, so that it will be recognized fully in action and in fact as a third tier of government of the Federation. So I thank you for the motions so far moved.
The Senate raised concerns that state governments were reportedly using state legislators to enact laws that breach constitutional provisions and the Supreme Court judgment on granting financial autonomy to local governments in line with the provisions of the Constitution.
The Association of Local Governments of Nigeria, ALGON, has expressed concern that the implementation of local government autonomy is yet to materialize, despite the October deadline. ALGON, however, says it remains hopeful that once the deadline passes, funds will begin to flow. This was revealed by the national president of ALGON, Bello Lawal, following the Supreme Court's July 24, 2024 ruling in favor of local government's independence.
There was an understanding that was reached between the local government, of course, and the Presidential Implementation Committee to honestly follow through the process in response to the Supreme Court judgment, and whereby 3 months window was given for the implementation to kickstart. So as we speak, we are in the 3rd month now, October, so we're expecting, like, starting from this month, the local government will start receiving their funds directly from the Federation account. The ALGON is working together with the federal government, the National Assembly, and other relevant stakeholders to ensure the amendment of the Nigerian Constitution in line with the Supreme Court judgment that granted financial autonomy to local government and strengthen the institutions of local government for there to be stability and for the chairman to be able to deliver on their mandates given by their people in such a way that there will be no truncation of tenure illegally by some self-serving individuals.
Accreditation and voting have commenced in the local government elections across the 17 local government areas of Plateau State. The election was earlier scheduled to start by 8 a.m. on Wednesday, but late arrival of ad hoc officials from the Plateau State Independent Electoral Commission, PLASEC, has affected the commencement of the exercise as scheduled. Ado Musa completes the story.
Plateau State Independent Electoral Commission, Flangshisha, on the radio on Wednesday, acknowledged the late arrival of election materials, but attributed the development to delay in the supply of the election materials by their contractors. He, however, said efforts are ongoing to rectify the problem before the end of the exercise. Despite the voter apathy being experienced at some polling units, some residents have come out to exercise their franchise.
It's peaceful, only that the turnout is poor. It's poor was because the level of campaign has been very poor. I've been in Abuja in Jos for the last 3 days, and I have not seen any candidate except probably in my ward.
Experiencing voter apathy. However, it's not a bad one. People are turning up gradually.
We have been years before they bring the ballot paper. But now that they have brought the last ballot paper, I've cast my vote. Everything is working smoothly now, and no problem for our polling unit for now.
Yeah, the election is going fine, and I'm being long in this our area. You understand? So from the poor ward, so the conduct of the election here is very smooth and neat. No problem.
Some party agents also speak on the exercise.
There is a partial voter apathy because they are responding gradually. So I believe that by the time the election is over, we will get more electorates.
Never starts early because we have challenges with the network, and after that, the people that are not coming out again. That's our challenges now.
So as we can see, the election have not started at the exact time. We started late. So what we are hoping is that the election will go successful by God's grace. Due to the low outcome of people, often now people have not participated.
11 political parties are participating in the election, with residents expected to elect their chairman and councillors from the 17 local government areas of the state. Ado Musa, Trust TV News, Jos.
Still in Plateau State, some residents of the state capital who refused to participate in the election have explained why they shunned the exercise. Trust TV's Ado Musa had earlier reported how the election was marred by voter apathy, with many residents shunning the election. His report.
Despite some residents of Jos and other local government areas casting their votes, the majority of polling units visited by Trust TV experienced low voter turnout, with PLASEC officials waiting for voters who largely shunned their polling units. Some of the electorate who were seen resting by the roadside gave reasons why they refused to vote during the election.
The election has been the winner has been known by the ruling by the state government, so I will not bother myself to go and vote because they have already know the winner. So that's my reason for not going.
Well, the situation we find ourselves in this country is so critical. And our leader, so-called leader, we don't even care about the common man, about the masses. So I don't see there's any reason for any serious person to say that let him come and cast his mandate. Because when you come and put on your mandate, you cast your mandate, you have no use. Because they are not after you, they are after their health, their wealth, and their family. So I don't think this election is necessary for Nigerians for now. In fact, to me, democracy has failed in Nigeria.
It will be a waste of time because I believe the ruling party's candidate will emerge as the winners in the end. Even if I vote for my preferred candidate and they win, I don't think they will be declared the winner. It is better to rest than to go and vote. Nothing has changed since last government, and it won't change now. Asking what can be done to restore confidence in the people's participation in the elections, the residents have this to say.
Well, if you watch out the entire country, the situation we find ourselves, to restore confidence in public like this is not easy. But the only way, if I may suggest, the only way, issue of this subsidy of fuel and subsidy of whatever that federal government has input on it, they have to go back to it. Now they are shouting of agriculture. You can go to the farm now, where to buy fertilizer is another issue. Can you imagine? Fertilizer that they are selling is 4,000, 3,000. Now it's almost about 45,000, 60,000. Then where are we heading to, for God's sake? So to me, if they really want us to come out massively and they restore our confidence, we have confidence of them. Let's have one. They should take back the subsidy and security.
The lack of people's participation in election and electoral engagement has always been a source of concern as people continue to lose confidence in the governance. Ado Musa, Trust TV News, Jos.
A former deputy governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, Edward Adamu, on Wednesday, told the Federal Capital Territory High Court, Abuja, that Godwin Emefiele, a former governor of the bank, did not follow laid-down procedure in the process that led to the redesign of some notes of the Nigerian currency. Led in examination by counsel to the Economic and Financial Crisis Commission, EFCC, Rotimi Oyedepo, Adamu, who is principal witness 4, also said that the redesign of the Naira notes launched by former President Muhammadu Buhari and currently in circulation was not the one approved by the former president or the board of the CBN. Adamu was testifying in the suit on a 4-count charge instituted by the EFCC against Emefiele, wherein he is accused of redesigning the 200 naira, 500 naira, and 1,000 naira notes of the Nigerian currency without the approval of President Buhari and the CBN board. The CBN deputy governor told the court that during his time as staff of the CBN, he had witnessed previous redesigns of the nation's currency aimed at addressing issues of volume of currency in circulation, inflation, counterfeiting, and general currency management, among others. The Nigerian Army says the immediate past commander of the 3rd Brigade in Kano, Brigadier General M.A. Sadiq, is being probed over administrative discrepancies in Kano State. Reports emerged on Wednesday that the general was being detained in Abuja over allegations of theft and mismanagement of palliatives. Specifically, Sadiq allegedly diverted rice palliatives from the defense headquarters intended for soldiers under his command. But clarifying that in a statement, Army spokesman Major General Onyema Nwachukwu said the senior officer has been relieved of the command to ensure a thorough investigation. The police in Ogun State have paraded a suspected serial killer and armed robber who specialized in robbing and killing of young girls after raping them. Ogun State Commissioner of Police Abiodun Alamutu disclosed that the suspect Philip Ogunaike, a 29-year-old young man, has been arrested by men of the Ogun State Police Command after he killed 3 young girls in similar circumstances. Trust TV's Abbas Ibrahim Dalibi now reports.
While leading men of the Ogun State Police Command to the spot where the suspect dumped his victims, the Commissioner of Police Abiodun Alamutu said the suspect is responsible for some of the cases of missing person in Abeokuta metropolis.
Creating an environment where we will include all stakeholders, particularly the mosque, the churches, our religious leaders, our traditional leaders, to do more of sensitization. Because if a 29-year-old person can be so heartless to carry out such killings, it is actually a disturbing trend. Unfortunately, these victims are all innocent kids.
He said the suspect usually lured young girls to isolated areas, kidnapped them, demand for ransom from their families, rape them, and later kill them.
If we need to escalate this so that our youths will be reminded that the only road to success is hard work.
CP also appealed to parents to always be security conscious and train their children to avoid going out with strangers. The suspect on his part confessed to be a member of secret cult and that his accomplice is currently at large.
Because of the back gang that we used to join, that is what used to lead us to. That's what led us to those things. Because I know if I had not joined by gang and I had not used to follow those people that used to do bad things, I know that I may not be able to do all these things. If they want to give us judgment, they should just give us, they should go and kill us, because they are the one that lead me to that stupid things.
The police said the suspect will be arraigned in court after the conclusion of investigation. Abbas Ibrahim Alibi, Trust TV.
The Nigeria Customs Service has commenced selling seized petroleum motor spirit, popularly known as petrol, confiscated by its Operation Whirlwind in Adamawa State. Speaking at a briefing in Yola, Customs Boss Bashir Adewale Adeni, represented by Deputy Controller General of Enforcement Olani Olajogun, issued a stern warning to smugglers of national resources, urging them to desist or face severe legal consequences. Gibson Soadigo reports from Yola.
The Nigerian Customs Service has commenced the auction of seized petroleum motor spirit, PMS, in Adamawa State, selling at 630 naira per litre amid long queues at filling stations. The fuel totaling 94,550 litres, worth 75,450,900 naira, was confiscated by Operation Whirlwind, a security initiative aimed at tackling fuel smuggling along Nigeria's border. Customs Controller General Bashir Adewale Adeniyi, represented by Olaniyi Olojogun, highlighted the collaborative efforts of all the stakeholders in combating this issue and expressed confidence in addressing the national challenge effectively.
I am pleased to announce that in this latest phase of Operation Whirlwind, the following seizures have been made. 2 trucks of 33 liters capacity each, filled with PMS intended to be smuggled. 1,046 jerrycans of 25 liters capacity each, filled with PMS, also bound to be smuggled. 12 drums of 200 liters capacity each, filled with PMS, also intended to be smuggled. Additionally, 1 suspect has been apprehended in connection with these smuggling activities, and the suspect is currently in our custody at the Nigerian Customs Headquarters in Abuja.
Motorists in Adamawa State are overwhelmed by the long queues at filling stations following the Nigeria's Customs Service auction of seized fuel. Many are voicing concerns over the negative economic impact of the federal government's subsidy removal, exacerbating fuel scarcity and further straining household finances. National Coordinator of Operation Whirlwind, Comptroller Hussein Kajibunu, reiterates their commitment to combating smuggling activities, noting that it is an act of economic sabotage that will be dealt with decisively.
We will not relent or shy away from our onerous responsibility. Smuggling is evil. Smuggling kills the economy. Smuggling creates disparity. And in this wise, I want to implore all and sundry in Adamawa that we need credible intelligence on people that are hell-bent on sabotaging the economy of the country.
50,950 liters, valued at 105,965,391 naira. Gibson Soadugo, Trust TV News, Yola.
This is News Hour on Trust TV. Coming up after the break, families of victims of Niger State boat mishap attack boat drivers' residence. More news when we return. Do stay with Trust TV. Welcome back. If you are just joining us, this is News Hour on Trust TV. Let's take a look at our top stories again. Motorists react to latest fuel price adjustments, and Senate orders states and local government areas to comply with Supreme Court judgment on local government autonomy. Moving to other stories now, the House of Representatives has called for the review of Nigeria's justice and judicial system in order to restore public trust in the judiciary and address the delay in providing justice. The lower chamber also mandated its Committee on Constitutional Review to organize public hearings aimed at addressing delays in justice delivery. Ganiu Ayuba, who raised the motion, expressed concern over the lengthy court cases that often take years to resolve, undermining public trust in the judiciary and slowing down democratic and economic progress. The Committee on Constitutional Review is instructed to report back within 4 weeks. The report.
In some states of the Federation, cases at the High Court, which by their nature ought to be dispensed within months, last between 4 to 5 years before judgment is delivered. The House further worried that situations where suspects languish in detention for years awaiting trial, where chieftaincy cases lasted for years in court, leaving communities without head, and where commercial litigation spans years in court unresolved, they are bane to our democratic and economic growth.
Prisons that were built or correctional facilities that were built to take, for example, 100 persons in the 70s, where facilities have not been expanded till today, have thousands of people languishing in them. And Mr. Speaker, of the number of persons in our correctional facilities, I can say without any form of doubt that over 60 to 70% are people who are awaiting trial. Some of them are in the correctional facilities for a period that is even longer than the time they would have been convicted for if they were eventually found guilty of such alleged offenses.
I am here today because the electoral law made it possible that after the election, all the cases must be dispensed within 7 months. Previously, you have cases, electoral cases, lingering up to 3 years. So there is no time better than now for this motion to be given accelerated hearing and passed because people are suffering.
Still in the House of Representatives, the House has urged the federal government to enforce the Exports Prohibition Act 2004 to tackle food smuggling and improve food security. Mukhtar Shagaya, who raised the motion, highlighted the nation's high food insecurity, inflation and shortages. He noted that food smuggling exacerbates the problem by undermining local agriculture and threatening farmers' livelihoods. The House also called on the Ministry of Agriculture to provide more incentives to boost agricultural production. The lower chamber also tasked its committees on works, housing, safety standards and environment to investigate the causes of frequent building collapses in Nigeria and propose lasting solutions with a report due in 4 weeks. This followed a motion by Aderemi Oseni, who raised concerns over the 135 building collapse incidents reported between 2022 and July 2024.
The House is also concerned that the food smuggling and exportation is a major driver of the current food insecurity, with large quantities of food products smuggled out of the country, consequently undermining agricultural output and threatening the livelihood of farmers. The House is also aware that the Export Prohibition Act 2004 was passed at a period when the majority of Nigerians were unable to acquire basic necessities like rice, corn, yam, gari, cassava, and beans, due to the fact that these goods were being transported sometimes covertly to foreign markets.
November 1st, 2021, 52 people equally died as a result of building collapse in Lagos State. Mr. Speaker, just for few references, in 2014, September 12 specifically, at Synagogues Church of All Nations, there was another major incident where 115 people died on account of building collapse. Is to mandate the Ministry of Works Committee to ascertain the causes of the incessant building collapse and provide lasting solution to curb the menace of and report back to the House within 4 weeks.
The House of Representatives Committee on Federal Polytechnics has directed the Rector of the Federal Polytechnic Bida, Niger State, Baba Haruna, to appear before the committee at a later date, which will be communicated to him. The directive follows Haruna's one-man appearance before the committee, which was scheduled to conduct an oversight on the institution's activities. Committee Chairman Fuad Laguda explained that for proper documentation during the oversight, it is necessary to have the full team from the Federal Polytechnic present, leading to the postponement of meeting to a future date. In response, Baba Haruna requested a new date, citing the ongoing accreditation of 29 programs as part of the oversight function.
That though you owe the full authority of your institution, but it will have been better if you were here with your team rather than you being here alone, because I'm sure is what your visitation here today is going to be, is that there will have to probably be a continuation of this exercise, because I'm sure we're going to come up with questions that even if you can answer them, you don't have documentary evidence to back them up.
We were expecting the committee yesterday in Bida, along with about 130 personnel for 29 programs accreditation in Bida. So when I got the message from Chairman Kofa that they have been able to make an easier arrangement and that we should come here, beginning with Bida and Wanune, I saw the importance and the integrity of this committee. So rather than write a letter last night, I decided to take excuse from there to come here physically to request that we be taking probably tomorrow or next tomorrow when the bossa and other teams would have finished with the accreditation team, and we will all be here again.
Lagos residents have expressed their concern that the current hardship in the Nigeria is largely due to unstable price regime in the oil and gas sector.
Many Lagos residents called on governments and relevant stakeholders in the oil and gas industry to ensure stability of PMS prices across the country. According to them, the current price regime is hurting businesses.
Since crude oil is our major source of exportation and is directly proportional as a byproduct of gasoline, which is a byproduct of crude oil, if you will have it. If there is a hike in the price of petroleum, which means there is a deficiency in the supply of crude oil, you understand, and thereby causing the fact that we don't have enough supply of crude oil in the economy, which is actually affecting the income source of this country.
We have a lot of things that we use and generate money, but fuel, when you increase, the moment they remove the subsidy, it affects a lot of things, because anything you want to do right now, you need fuel. People move to their various working environments, they have to use fuel and other things.
You know, instead of this, our farmers, what they are doing now, when they reap something now, they sold it out to the foreigners. So that is the foreigners that are gaining more benefits from our resources right now. Nigeria forgot other solid minerals. It's not only fuel that is bringing money or bringing income in Nigeria. We have other areas like timber, columbite, zinc, so many things in those days. But nowadays, all eyes on fuel.
Lagos residents are calling on the government to diversify the country's economy, recognizing that petroleum products alone cannot sustain a population of over 200 million people. They further advised the government to put more effort in developing other sectors of the economy, such as agriculture, mining, and the export of various mineral resources.
Residents of Warri in Delta State are groaning over the high cost of renting presidential apartments. They call for government regulation of house rents as well as the activities of agents to ameliorate the distress of the people who are already confronted by the economic hardship in the country. Jonathan Awanya completes the story.
Shelter is one of the basic needs of life. In Warri, residents are lamenting that rent has become too exorbitant and now way out of the reach of ordinary Nigerians, thus making it difficult to access this essential need. They also express dismay that most of the housing estates built by the government are strictly for the rich, as no civil servant in the state could afford them.
Rent in Warri is very, very high. You can imagine, last week we went to look for a house, 2-bedroom flat, they are selling us 1 something. How much are we earning? Salary is very small. Cost of living, cost of everything is high. How much are we going to gather to pay for 2-bedroom apartments? And a family of 7 cannot stay in self-contained or one room. So please, we are begging the government to help us. At least if the country is better, the landlord and the landlady, they will help us reduce the rent.
It's help for us. Most especially we where they find house.
we that were looking for house to pack in. The few houses we went so far, the agent fee is almost half of what you want to pay the landlord.
Because house when it like with the rent those days when they very cheap, not so cheap again. And to make things worse now, even all those old buildings them, when the day since now the landlord they don't increase the house rent to normal standard house when they build now like this. And to make things worse again, the agents them are ×2 of the money now they collect. So I beg, beg the government, may they look into this issue.
The increase in the house rent now is very, very expensive, whereby poor masses cannot afford it. You see many people packing back to the village, and so many are relocating to a rural area more cheaper rather than a developed city that we are in now in Warri.
While blaming real estate agents for being responsible for the increase in house rents, the tenants called on landlords to consider the economic hardship bedeviling the country before increasing rents. They urged the government to intervene in the housing sector to address the rising cost of rents in the state. Jonathan Anwaya, Trust TV News, Asaba.
The Borno State government says it's committed to tackling the spread of cholera outbreak in communities affected by flood. The State Commissioner for Health stated this when he received essential medical supplies from UNICEF to address the rising cases of cholera in the state. The donations worth 113 million naira, according to UNICEF, is to help tackle the deadly disease spread and to enhance prevention and treatment of patients. The items provided include water diarrhea kits, beds, cholera response kits, among several others.
We have now delivered 300,000 dosage of cholera vaccine for population, and those vaccines have already been administered, or it's an oral vaccine, so they were put in mouth. Now we are also bringing other additional doses. As I was coming here, I also came to know that some additional doses are coming. So another 600,000 dosage are also coming.
This is what we call critical placement. When you suspect such things are happening. And I'm not surprised. UNICEF is always planning ahead and thinking ahead. And they have a robust system of responding to such events.
Concerns and grievances have continued to trail the October 1st boat mishap that claimed 44 lives, including Maulud celebrants at the Bajibo community in Mokwa local government area of Niger State. Residents said boat and canoe mishaps occur regularly, but only few get reported. The report.
Bajibo, an agrarian and fishing community, is at the center of River Niger, connecting Jeba and Lokoja Kogi State, as well as Nimbusa and Kainji in Niger State. The community has witnessed series of boat mishaps, mostly involving farmers on their ways to farm. Many homes have nearly gone into extinction due to number of deaths involving adults, including women.
I got a call that my father was involved in a boat mishap. His dead body was recovered 3 days after the incident. I am in pain. I don't know how my life would now be without my mother and my father.
There is a village on that Bajibo here. The name of that village is Nyanchadia. Almost that village myself, almost finished now myself. Because a lot of people die in that. Majority are from that Nyanchadia on that Bajibo. So we lost, in fact, more than 20 people in that particular village. And even if you count them, they are not more than at least 40. So where we have at least 40-something people and almost 30, we lost 30. If you reach their houses now, you will see empty houses there. For in fact, it touched all of us. Touch almost all of us.
Here, 30 members of my family were buried here. 23 of them were women, while the rest were men. They lost their lives on their way to farm to harvest melon. All of them died in that boat, except the driver. Only the driver survived. My community was shaking when that incident happened. We found it difficult to recover from the mishap.
Very painful to us. Automatically, there's many people in Riverside. Some people, just because of incident that happened last year, they're trying to migrate to go somewhere just because of the incident. I see this one happen again.
While much is still expected of the waterways regulatory agencies, especially National Inland Waterways Authority (NIWA), the mishaps were blamed on negligence on the part of both operators.
We've been experiencing both mishaps annually. This year, this is the second time we are having it. And actually, we believe that whatever God has assigned to happen must happen. But there's negligences on the issues of this water transportation. Because this one that has just happened recently, we will blame it on the overloading. These are the things that are causing most of our, even the previous ones are also overloadings. And despite the sensitization NIWA is doing to our water transporters, I think it is not enough. We are just appealing to the NIWA again and the government concerned to please gear up more effort to, awareness campaign to our people.
In the water code, we have a lot of acts there. So for those that violate, for those that travels at night, the code stipulates that when they are apprehended, we will charge them to court, and they have an option of fine, and they can be imprisoned.
President called on the state and federal government to provide adequate life jackets, modern boats, and ensure strict monitoring and prosecution of violators of water transport safety regulations. From Bajibo, Moka Local Government, Abubakar Akote, Trust TV News.
Let's now join Yusuf Akogun for business news.
The federal government revenue from foreign direct investment to Nigeria in the second quarter of 2024 dropped to $29.83 million. The latest capital importation report by the National Bureau of Statistics (NBS) showed that the FDI dropped by 65.33% compared to the $86.03 million recorded in the same period last year. The development marks the lowest level ever recorded based on available data up to 2013. It also dropped by 74.97% from the $119.8 million reported in the preceding quarter of 2024. Data from the NBS show that Nigeria's FDI includes equities and other capital, as most of the FDI in Q2 2024 came from equity investment amounting to $29.82 million. The Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited (NNPCL) has raised its pump price of petrol in Abuja by 14.8% to 1,030 naira per litre from 897 naira per litre. The latest price increase making the second time the petrol price has been hiked in the past month. The company had in September increased pump price from 615 per litre to 897 naira per litre. Reports say the NNPC retail mega station in Abuja have effected the price increase. Motorists who are shocked lamented a continuing hardship in the country over instability in PMS prices. And that's business. I am Yusuf Akogu.
On the foreign scene, Turkey on Wednesday sent ships to evacuate around 2,000 of her citizens from Lebanon. Turkey's Beirut envoys noted that it will be the biggest evacuation of its type from the war-torn country. A Turkish diplomatic source said 2 naval ships carrying the evacuated nationals and their families will arrive at the southern Turkish port of Mersin in the early hours of Thursday morning. The 2 ships set sail overnight for the Lebanese capital, whose southern suburbs were hit overnight by fresh Israeli bombardments. Turkey, which is estimated to have 14,000 citizens registered with her consulate in Lebanon, announced the move on Tuesday because of the deteriorating security situation in Lebanon. Steady rain fell and winds began to gust in the Tampa Bay area Wednesday morning as a mighty hurricane, Milton, churned towards a potentially catastrophic collision with the west coast of Florida, where some residents insisted they would stay even after millions were ordered to evacuate. The Tampa Bay region, home to more than 3.3 million people, hasn't seen a direct hit from a major hurricane in more than a century. The National Hurricane Center said Milton fluctuated between categories 4 and 5 as it approached, but regardless of the distinction in wind speeds, it will be a major and extremely dangerous storm when its center makes landfall late Wednesday or early Thursday. Milton is expected to retain hurricane strength as it crosses central Florida on Thursday towards the Atlantic Ocean. Vice President of the European Commission for Values and Transparency, Vera Jourova, said Sudan is the largest displacement crisis in the world. She stated this at the European Parliament debated the situation in war-torn country on Tuesday. Sudan plunged into conflict in mid-April 2023 when long-simmering tensions between its military and paramilitary leaders broke out in the capital Khartoum and spread to Darfur and other regions. Some 10 million people have been internally displaced, and the country is engulfed in a humanitarian crisis. Tens of thousands of people have died in fighting.
The transition to civilian rule remains the ultimate objective. The EU has consistently supported civilians in Sudan, and we remain a trusted convening platform. There is some progress in amalgamating civilian groups, but we are slowly helping to unify them. It's catastrophic. Together with our international partners, we are mobilized to align our efforts to end the war now.
Let's now join Emmanuel Fashimi for stories in the world of sports.
Nigerian League has witnessed a downtrend since the start of the millennium. Teams no longer have fans, followership, match days record low turnout, poor facilities and little investment compared to what it used to be at the beginning. In time past, clubs like Shooting Stars of Ibadan, Kano Pillars, Enyimba, Enugu Rangers, Bendel Insurance boast of large fan base because of how the clubs were set up and run by the administrators, but due to poor funding and maladministration, these clubs have lost ground in Nigeria. Trust TV spoke to some football fans in the FCT.
Our leagues are not developing again. You see players in Nigeria paid 40,000 naira in a month. What would that one solve? And this is where you can collect 40,000 pounds in a week. Will it not go? We want to go. Our league needs to be advertised more. Our leagues need to be developed more. We need more awareness in our leagues. We don't have it. People like to go and watch Man U, or go and watch Chelsea because they have developed their leagues. Our administrators need to put all hands on deck to develop Nigerian league. It is a sellable brand.
If you can differentiate between watching the Nigerian league and watching league from Europe, let's say you are watching Bendel Insurance or you are watching Chelsea Football Club, you will discover that you find more interest in watching that Chelsea Football Club based on the fact that the whole thing is so clear and you find it so interesting. But in watching Bendel Insurance, you discover that even the kind of camera that is being used, the kind of equipment where there is supposed to be a playback, you don't see things like that.
We need to start from the grassroots, the way it was before,
So from primary school to secondary to university leagues should be revived. There were days when Nuga used to be a thing. So if we can go back to that, I believe that way we can get the resources right from when they were small. Not when everybody now wants to go out to Europe. That's now when we'll be begging people to stay back.
For Nigerian league and clubs to become booming again, administrators with the technical know-how should be in charge of the teams. Huge investment, good facilities should be in place, and massive awareness with media coverage. With all of these, the league and teams will enjoy successes again like what it used to be in the 70s, 80s, and 90s. That is Sports. I am Emmanuel Fashimi.
And that concludes this Wednesday's edition of News Hour on Trust TV. Do not forget to follow us across all our media platforms and join our YouTube live stream for more news, programs, and documentary. Thank you for watching. I'm Muhammad Kudu Abubakar. Bye for now.